is your Panther preview for the week of December 14th. So, just as we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, we're going to be practicing our skills with nonfiction texts. So, we're going to be working specifically with central ideas and details. We're going to be working on our close reading skills. We're going to be looking at some vocabulary and some context clue skills along with that vocabulary. And of course, we're going to be working on our critical thinking. So, this week, we are going to practice our prepositional phrases, review vocabulary lists 7 through 12 for our quarter vocab test on Friday. We're going to read and engage with a pair of texts. You actually get to make a decision on that. You get to choose which set of texts you're going to read this week and work with. You're going to write a constructed response, which, as I warned you last week, we're going to work on as a test grade this week. So we will do some review of what you've done the last 2 weeks before I set you loose on a constructed response for the text that you're reading this week. And then we're also going to take a couple of end of quarter assessments this week as well. We were originally scheduled to take that on Monday, but obviously we're doing something a little different today. So our quarter assessment got rescheduled for Wednesday. So that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday when you come into class. All right, so quickly, let's do an outline of our first lesson for this week. So if you're in periods 1 and 3, this is happening for you on Monday. If you're in periods 4 and 5, it's split over Monday and Tuesday. And then if you are in periods 7 and 8, this is going to happen for you on Tuesday. Okay, so here's a quick outline. First of all, we're going to start out with a book-it review for that vocab test on Friday. You're going to choose a text. You get to choose either The Dirty History of Soap or Making Our Voices Heard. So one is from the October Scope magazine and one is from the November Scope magazine. So you'll have the choice of which of those two you want to read and study this week. Our first assignment for either one of those will be a vocab preview. Then you're going to read the text during class, whichever day that happens to be for you. You're going to read the text. There is a recording of that available in Canvas, so you'll be able to listen if you'd like to, rather than read it on your own. Obviously, you do need to follow along if you are listening, because that's how we always do it, right? You always need to be reading it as well as listening if we're doing both. Back to the vocab for just a second. You'll find a set of slides in Canvas for that, and they'll be clearly labeled based on which text you are reading because they are different based on whichever text you're looking at. Strangely enough, they did not use the same vocabulary words in both stories. Weird, I know. Once you've read, then you're going to be working with some close reading and critical thinking questions, and those, of course, will be available in slide form, and you'll be able to download whichever one you need based on whichever text you chose. So that's what we're going to be doing for our lesson this week. So look at story vocab, read the story, work on close reading and critical thinking questions. All of that is going to be available in Canvas. There are links to everything, and there will be detailed instructions there as well, so that you'll have the opportunity to read those instructions if it's not sinking in right now, or if you forget what I said right now. You'll have that opportunity to read it. Or of course, you can always come back and watch the video again. All right, so our independent study tasks for this week. So these are assigned by day, okay? So it doesn't matter what day you have class, you're working on these independent study tasks. On Monday, whatever's assigned on Monday, you're doing on Monday. It's kind of like your homework, except that you have a half an hour to work on it during the school day. And then on Tuesday, you have a separate assignment that is due on Tuesday, kind of like homework, except that you're in the room while you have the opportunity to work on it. All right, so Monday, we're going to do prepositional phrase story 2, which will look kind of familiar to you because we did prepositional phrase story 1 last week. So it'll be just like that, where you're going to circle the prepositions, underline the entire prepositional phrase, just like we did last week. This time, it is a longer story, and there are a lot more prepositions, so be prepared. Then, of course, you'll have the opportunity to study for your vocab test on Friday. That is something you definitely need to be working on during your independent study time on both Monday and Tuesday. And if you don't get finished with all of the tasks from class on Monday, you can work on that during independent study time as well. On Tuesday, we're going to do a quiz over the scope article that you chose. So by then, everyone will have hopefully read their article. And so then everybody will have the opportunity to take that quiz. But it's just like the quizzes we've had in the past, where it's just, these are some skills that we want you to apply to the article to make sure that you understand what you're doing, to make sure that these skills are being strengthened and honed as we work through the year. And then, of course, we finish any work that's left from the lesson for these 2 days, and then study for your vocab test. If you have any questions, you can get on my Zoom call during independent study time in the afternoon, or you can email me if you have questions. And unfortunately, we're not really supposed to just ask and answer questions, because we're trying to practice for what it would be like if we would be going to distance learning. And so any questions that you have, any clarifications that you need, those have to happen digitally online somehow or other. So get onto Zoom if you have questions during your independent study time, or stay on Zoom during our lesson when I give you the opportunity to work with me in the background. So, or of course you have the option to email. All right, well, good luck. And again, let me know if you have any questions.